Greetings, this is Doc Ock coming at you live and direct today from Black Facts Headquarters Central. And as you see, you got Doc Ock at the controls. Doc Ock at the controls. That's right. This is a one-man show, solo. But even though I'm doing the show solo, we're going to take you so high. That's right. So high you feel like you're starting to fly. And that's what we're going to do today. Because once we get done with this show, you're going to be good from now until the sweet by and by. That's how high you're going to be. Well, let's get this show on the road. Because we got a special for you tonight. We're finishing up our story about the Black Panthers as presented in the graphic novel by David Walker and Marcus Kwame Anderson, two young bucks who have had the luck to be able to come up with some really dynamic piece on a part of our history that certainly is not discussed enough and certainly is not presented to the chillin'. And that's what we doing. While you chilling, we're going to present to the chilling. Check that out. So, let's get it started. First things first, you know what we need you to do. Go ahead, give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. And then spread the word far and wide, hither and yon, to and fro through the land. Let everybody know that Doc Ock is here making his stand for Black history. Okay, we're not gonna let the Congress or anybody else or the governor or anybody else tell us what we can and cannot pass on to our children in the way of our story. It's not gonna happen on my watch. So stay tuned and you won't feel like a loon. Meanwhile, there's one other thing I was supposed to mention to you, but I forgot. So I have to wait till it returns to my memory bank. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and do our proverb of the day. Proverb of the day today is very appropriate for me. When the vine entwines your roof, it is time to cut it down. When the vine entwines your roof, it is time to cut it down. All right? Now that's a real good one there. When the vine entwines your roof, it is time to cut it down. And that is a proverb from Cameroon, West Africa. Right next door to Nigeria is the Cameroon. Cameroon. I don't remember the capital of Cameroon, but I know where it's located on the map. I just can't think of the capital. One day it'll come to me and I'll bring it up in one of our sessions. But in the meantime, let's get this party started because you know I ain't messing. Absolutely. Even though I couldn't answer the question right now, what is the capital of Cameroon? If anybody can answer it out there, go ahead and drop that info on me if you can do it without Googling it. If you have to Google it, don't even bother. Okay? But if you can do it without Googling it, show me what you can do. Show me what you know, not what Google knows. Because I know Google knows something, but what do you know? All right, so we left off last night at one of my favorite places to live on earth that I've lived in so far, and that is Sacramento, California. The Sacramento incident. Well, you see, it went like this, chillin'. With the activities of the Panthers getting more press, their actions caught the attention of... Oh, wow. I see there's an error in here. Typo. Caught the attention of law enforcement and politicians, including California State Assemblyman Don Mulford. And the attention of... Okay. Forgot the of there. All right. Make a little correction. All right. 6 weeks after the Panthers provided security for Betty Shabazz and clashed with police, Mulford introduced Bill AB 1591. Remember that number, AB 1591, in the legislature, the California State Legislature, on April 5th, 1967. Now, what was this legislature all about? What could it possibly have been about? Could it have been about defunding the police? No. Could it have been about stopping police brutality? No. Could it have been about ceasing and desisting with practices of stop and frisk? No. What it was is it would make it illegal to carry loaded firearms in public, and it was designed to disarm none other than the Black Panther Party. So in other words, I know y'all haven't been paying attention because you're too young, but for you adults out there, y'all know they've been, one of the big topics in the news has been gun control. And we can't get gun control. All these people going around, white people mainly, going around committing these heinous crimes. They had, 13 of them today, or four different ones yesterday, 4 mass shootings yesterday. And we can't enact a gun control measures that says no bump stock or no automatic weapons. We can't do that because that would be against the Second Amendment, First Amendment, one of them amendments. It would clash with one of the amendments to the Constitution, they say. But guess what? All it took was the Panthers to start brandishing weapons, black folks to start brandishing weapons, and boom, just like that, magic, all of a sudden, gun control. Oh, they are ready for gun control because we got to control the guns because this done got out of hand because now black folks got them. So there's a clue for you. If you want gun control to pass, all you got to do is every black person out there go on and get a gun. And then don't just have the gun, wear it. Because as long as you're wearing it in public, it can't be a concealed weapon. 6 weeks after the Panthers provided security for Betty Shabazz and clashed with police, Mulford introduced the bill AB 1591 in the legislature on April 5th, 1967, making it illegal to carry loaded firearms in public, designed to disarm the Black Panther Party. Bill AB 1591 was supported by many people, many California politicians, including none other than the former actor who acted like a governor and acted like we were going to vote for him for president. And he was right because people did, just like people voted for T-Rump. Ronald Reagan. We used to call him Ronald the Reagan. I've been thinking, says Bobby Seale, we need to do something to get more publicity, to spread the word to the people. And this is it. We got to go down to the Capitol in a show of force with our guns loaded and protest Mulford and his gun control bill. The press is always at the Capitol and they'll blast us all over the news. Everyone in California will know about us. Shoot, everyone in the country might know about us after we do this. Now, that's not really a prophetic statement. It was just factual. Because that is exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. So, the Black Panthers descend on Sacramento. It's a 100-mile drive from the Bay Area to Sac. When you get to Sacramento, these freeways they got going through there can be kind of confusing. I think they do it on purpose to stop black folks from coming there in the future, or just get you real lost so you can't figure out how to get down to the Capitol. But this time, they got right on down there to the Capitol on May 2nd, 1967. Just 6 months after the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense was formed, an armed delegation journeyed from Oakland to Sacramento to protest the proposed bill AB 1591. Because he was on probation for a prior assault charge, it was decided that Huey Newton would not be part of the group going to Sacramento. Instead, Bobby Seale led the group, which included 24 men and 6 women, 30 people, 30 black folks, armed to the teeth. The Panthers arrived in Sacramento as Governor Reagan was talking to a group of students, which was being covered by the press. When Reagan saw the group of armed black people, he made a hasty exit from the grounds of the state capitol, because remember, Ronald Reagan was essentially an actor. He was just acting like governor. He never really was doing the job. So as soon as he saw black folks acting like we had a right to carry arms, like they say in the Constitution, he acted just like what he was, an actor, and walked off the stage. As Newton had predicted, the arrival of the Panthers captured the attention of the press. The Panthers looked like an invading army as they marched toward the Capitol building with guns in hand. The plan was to have Bobby Seale read a message known as Executive Mandate Number 1, which had been written by Huey Newton. Before the day was over, Bobby Seale would deliver the message more than once. Prepared to deliver Executive Mandate Number 1 and protest Bill AB 1591 before the State Assembly, the Panthers entered the Capitol building. They walked on up in there because they didn't have any metal detectors or any of that kind of stuff at that time. If you recall, January 6th, we had an invasion of the U.S. Capitol here. And white people, just walked on up in there, smeared feces all over the walls and did different kind of foul stuff in the building. Okay? Sat up in the representatives' offices with their feet up on the desk, left little threatening messages and stuff on their desk. But after black people did something like this, they made sure to put up plenty of security, metal detectors, etc., etc., etc. And the Panthers immediately got lost while looking for the assembly chamber. You remember I said that earlier, that Sacramento was set up in a way where you could easily get lost on your way trying to find the Capitol. Well, even once you get in the building, you can still get lost, and that's what happened. So Bobby Seale says, hey, I think it's this way. And then he says, wait, maybe it's back that way. And they turn around and go back the other way. Then he says, oh, wait a minute, let's go this way. And then little Bobby Hutton says, well, hold on, wait a minute, we already went that way. So yeah, they were seriously lost in the sauce. Then Bobby Seale says out loud with the reporter standing there, where the hell is the assembly? Where are these people anyway? He probably should have got a floor plan or a map before he went up in there. So he turns to the reporter. He says, hey, man, which way to the assembly? And the reporter says, upstairs on the next floor. Bobby says, come on, y'all, this way. And so they head on up there. The Panthers had been looking for the viewing area of the assembly chamber, where the public was allowed to watch as bills like AB 1591 were introduced. And then Bobby says, when they get to the door, he says, it has to be through this door. He gets to the big double doors. Yeah, that must be it there. Unfortunately, the Panthers accidentally went on to the main floor of the chamber, an area off limits to the public. Gathered members of the assembly were shocked. They were in shock and terrified by the sight of armed black men walking onto the main floor of the California State Assembly chamber. All of this was captured by the press and broadcast from coast to coast without a boast. The Black Panthers were not just the toast of the town or of California. They went worldwide that night. Within moments of the Panthers walking onto the main floor of the assembly, the police arrived and tried to snatch little Bobby Hutton's gun. He said, hey, man, give me back my gun. All weapons were seized and the Panthers were escorted out of the building. Bobby Seale on his way out says, am I under arrest? If I'm not under arrest, give me back my gun. Okay? Demanded his weapon be returned to him. Outside the Capitol building, reporters and television news crews surrounded the Panthers, wanting to know more about the armed black men that had just seemingly invaded the assembly. Having captured everyone's attention now that he had people's attention, you could put a message out there. But sometimes you got to capture people's attention because they ain't paying attention. Bobby Seale delivered executive mandate number 1 for a second time, with the media recording his every word. And here's how it went. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense calls upon the American people in general and black people in particular to take careful note of the racist California legislature now considering legislation aimed at keeping black people disarmed and powerless, while racist police agencies throughout the country intensify the terror, brutality, murder, and repression of black people. Now, we've been listening to Martin Luther King's speech for a long time. I have a dream, okay? And Martin's still dreaming. He dead now, but he's still dreaming, okay? Because we keep hearing that dream speech every year, but we don't hear this speech right here. We need to be listening to more than just Martin Luther King. He ain't the only one that had something important to say that we need to remember, okay? Bobby Seale continues, at the same time that the American government is waging a racist war of genocide. Look that word up, genocide. In Vietnam, the concentration camps in which Japanese Americans were interned during World War II are being renovated and expanded. Did you understand that? He's talking about the prison camps that are all over the United States of America still today, waiting for new residents. In the meantime, they hold clown shows there because they call those camps fairgrounds. They call those camps fairgrounds, but I remember very clearly in the late 90s, early 2000s, going to the Puyallup Fairgrounds in Washington State and seeing armed snipers on top of the wall that goes around the fairgrounds on Black Night. The fair in Puyallup, the Washington State Fair, goes on for 4 weeks. 4 weeks, 7 days a week for 4 weeks. And they got one night is Black Night. One night is Black Night. And on that night, you see snipers, manning the parapets. You don't see that on any other night, just on Black Night. I'm not going to go into why that is. I'll let y'all think about it and figure it out for yourselves. Just like a proverb. It's like a proverb, a little proverb for you there. Meanwhile, Bobby Seale is still reading mandate number 1. Since America has historically reserved its most barbaric treatment for non-white people, we are forced to conclude that these concentration camps are being prepared for black people, not colored folks, black people who are determined to gain their freedom by any means necessary. The enslavement of black people at the very founding of this country, the genocide practiced on the American Indians and the confinement of their survivors on reservations, the savage lynching of thousands of black men and women, the dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and now the cowardly massacre in Vietnam, all testify to the fact that toward people of color, oh, here he goes, the racist power structure of America has but one policy: repression, genocide, terror, and the big stick. Black people have begged in, prayed in, petitioned in, sat in, and demonstrated, among other things, to get the racist power structure of America to right the wrongs which have historically been perpetrated against black people. All of these efforts have been answered by more repression, deceit, that means lying, and hypocrisy. As the aggression of the racist American government escalates in Vietnam, the police agencies of America escalate. The repression of black people throughout the ghettos of America. Vicious police dogs, cattle prods, and increased patrols have become familiar sights in black communities, City Hall turns a deaf ear to the pleas of black people for relief from this increasing terror. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense believes that the time has come for black people to arm themselves against this terror before it is too late. The pending Mulford Act brings the hour of doom one step nearer. A people who have suffered so much for so long at the hands of a racist society must draw the line somewhere. We believe that the black communities of America must rise up as one man to halt the progression of a trend that leads inevitably to their total destruction. Just as Huey Newton had hoped, the Panthers' protest in Sacramento made the national news. And that's it. We're done. I'm dropping the mic. I'm dropping the mic. I'm dropping the book. I'm dropping that whole story. We're done with that story. Okay? We're going to let it drop right there. Now, you would think that is the highlight of the book. You would think that that is the crescendo, but it ain't. Because the book goes on. We only got halfway through this book. Okay? So if you want to know how the rest of the story go, you need to go on Amazon and get yourself a copy of this book. And if I were you, I'd go ahead and pick it up right now before the only copies that are left are the ones that cost you $400 to $500. So if you really want to know how the rest of the story goes, you need to make that trip to Amazon and get yourself a copy of the book right now. Okay, now admittedly the book came out this year, but I've been seeing how these prices of these books and other items have been going on Amazon, and it's like a feeding frenzy out there. There's some price gouging going on. So if you don't want to be a victim of some price gouging, I advise you to go get a copy of this book right here, right now. Do not delay. Okay, run to your computer. Oh, you're already on your computer. That's right. Okay, well, get out your credit card and ring it up. Okay, The Black Panther Party, the graphic novel by David Walker and Marcus Kwame Anderson. I have to say all of Marcus's name because he got that Kwame in the middle, and I ain't gonna miss calling him Kwa. So, meanwhile, this is Doc Ock. I'm signing off. But as always, all you little children out there, wherever you may be, you know what time it is and you know what you need to do. Lay your little head on your little pillow, on your little bed, close those your eyes and wait for that sun to rise. And when that big old sun comes up in the sky tomorrow, realize that it's the dawn of a new day. It's a dawn of a day when you can see clearly now. You get up with your eyes open, look around, and tell your parents, your friends, your family, and even me, what do you see? Tell us what you see. Not what somebody told you to see, but what do you really see? What do you see happening in the world? Because there's things happening around you all the time. And half the time, we're getting gaslit. People tell you that you didn't see what you just thought you saw. You even see it on the cartoons. I thought I saw a putty cat. Ain't that what Tweety Bird says? I thought I saw a putty cat. And then he looks around again and he says, I did. That's gaslit. Okay? When somebody tells you that you didn't see what you just thought you saw. So, enough said. Go ahead. All you adults out there, you know what you need to do as well. Everybody's got their job, their role to play. And your role right now is to go ahead and give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. And if you understand what we're doing, if you agree with what we're doing, if you like what we're doing, we need you to become a sustaining member of the Black Facts family. Easy to do. There's a number of different options how you can give to our effort here so we can continue the momentum that we already have because we're on a roll and we intend to continue rolling. So you can go to, if you're looking on YouTube, which is where you should be at, there's a link at the bottom of our description or description for every live stream, there's a link at the bottom that takes you to our website. Donation button is at the top of the page. If you're looking at us on your phone, then on Facebook, if you're on the phone and you're on Facebook, then click the notifications, and you'll see a link over there in the notifications list. And if you're on your computer, then on Facebook, at the bottom of each live stream, there's also a donation link there. So that's 3 ways I just gave you to support us. Go ahead, make a recurring donation, $5 a month, $10 a month, $20 a month, whatever it is, it'll be well worth it, because you can't get this kind of information and exposure anywhere else on the planet Earth. Period. Dot. Nowhere. I guarantee you look around and see what you find. You ain't gonna find it, okay? But look and see, and come back and tell me what you saw, and I'll tell you what you thought you saw that you didn't see. In the meanwhile, peace out without a doubt with justice. You know, today is the anniversary of the murder of George Floyd. So everything we've been reading about here with the Black Panther Party, totally relevant to what's going on today. Okay? Totally relevant. So these are kind of bedtime stories we read from time to time. We do other kind of stories as well. But sometimes we just have to get real and go ahead and break it down so you don't have a frown from your crown all the way to the ground. Tomorrow, we'll be black at noon, because this is Doc Ock at noon and 9. Look for us then. We'll be black, continuing our story, the story of Malcolm X, as told by none other than Malcolm X himself in his autobiography, in his very own words. We'll see you then. In the meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and do our extra. Peace out, y'all.